Guys, before we get into the video we have for today, news has it that Tinubu and Wike are having serious buzz. So guys, like you can see this headline here, it says Wike boycotts Council of State meeting amid rift as Tinubu snubs his candidate, appoints Amupitan Inec chairman. So guys, news has it that Wike is not happy with Tinubu for not appointing his own candidate. So it appears Wike had his own preferred candidate to have become the Inec chairman, and for the fact that his candidate was not appointed, Wike is not happy, and for that reason Wike did not attend the Council of State meeting that was recently held. So guys, a whole lot is happening. If you can remember recently, while Wike was speaking on Channels Television, he said if he had wanted the state of emergency in Rivers State to continue, it would have continued. That tells you the level at which Wike remote controls Tinubu. I mean, he influences Tinubu's decision a whole lot. And this time around, because his candidate was not appointed, Wike appears to be happy, or to be unhappy, according to this headline. And for that reason, he decided not to come for the Council of State meeting. You may also not know that Nigerians are not happy with the newly appointed INEC chairman. Like you can see this headline here, says that 1,000 lawyers, it says over 1,000 lawyers urge Senate to disqualify Amupitan. You might be wondering reasons behind this. This man is said to have, been one of the lead counsels of the Tinubu's tribunal, petition, the court session that we saw that happened after the presidential election. This man was one of the people that defended Tinubu, and like you can see here, a section of that headline says the lawyers in a letter dated October 10, 2025 addressed to the chairman of the Senate Committee on Electoral Matters, Senator Simon Lalong, APC Plateau South, alleged that Professor Amupitan is unfit for the position due to his previous role as lead counsel to the All Progressive Council during the 2023 presidential election petition at the Supreme Court. So this man was, he's one of the lead counsels that defended Tinubu and APC, and now he's the INEC chairman. So guys, all the institutions have been politicized. I mean, all these people you see from, in short, all of them, they belong to the APC, so Nigerians are raising alarm, saying that how can this kind of person who stood for Tinubu, defending Tinubu, all the things they defended, they later told us that you don't need Abuja to the FCT to win election. They later told us that you can declare results even without the beavers. They twisted everything. Now the same people that defended that wrong defense, in my own view, they are now the ones that are going to be heading the electoral body. So guys, a whole lot is happening. I'm just going to allow you to listen to this short clip before we get into our very first video, because Nigerians are really raising alarm, saying that how is it that Nigerians are quiet? Nigerians are quiet. Even the top political heavyweights, the opposition parties we have in Nigeria, they are all quiet as if they be hypnotized. Nobody is speaking to this fact, that this man is among those who defended Tinubu, in the last tribunal. How come he's now going to be the INEC chairman? And apart from that, Wike is also not happy that his own preferred candidate, who knows the person Wike, wanted to become the INEC chairman. You can imagine that this thing we are saying, politics in Nigeria is like a business. They've hijacked everything. Nothing again is being done according to the will of the people. It's just according to the will of the politician. And you have seen their efforts to make Nigeria a one-party system. Everybody now is defecting to the APC just to make, just to useless politics in Nigeria. They just want to destroy politics in Nigeria. You can imagine if we have just one party in this country. Anyway, guys, I'm just going to allow you listen to this guy who has really spoken out his mind, and then you are going to be listening to what Rufai and what Jokbe have for us today. Just take your time and watch this video and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification. Now take a look.
Just imagine how 2027 election is already been rigged far in advance. Just imagine that. See, if you are a Nigerian and you're still hoping that there's going to be an election in 2027, trust me, you are the only one with that belief and mentality. The rest of us are no longer there. How can Bola Ahmed Tinubu be this wicked, be this heartless? Who is the man that you have just chosen for the next INEC job? Do you guys even know? At least already trending. You guys should know. The man called Ojo, Ami, and Pupita, Amupita. I don't know the man name, I just can't call it. Are you aware that he was the lead counsel that defended the rubbish that happened in the 2023 general election? Are you aware? I'm sure most of you don't know. This man was the lead counsel to the legal team that Bola Ahmed Tinubu assembled to defend the nonsense that Mahmoud Yakubu and his INEC organized that they called the election. This is the same man that said it doesn't matter if transmission, as in he led the legal team that made a case against election result being transmitted in real time. Now the man has been handed over this juicy job. Tinubu, we never knew that you were like this. And woe unto those who clap, who always clap for Tinubu, calling him the greatest politician, the master strategist, with fraud like this. No, now. It's very unfortunate that over 220 million people are hoping that come 2027, they will go to the ballot and try and vote out this incompetence, this corruption, this hunger and starvation, this poverty, this hardship. They never knew that the man. See, now we could even understand why everybody keep defecting to APC. They keep defecting to APC. They all know the plans. That there will be no further election in Nigeria until further notice. Because the man in charge has come to make sure it stays that way. And Nigerians, you guys have folded your arms. You're going to fold your arms and just watch this nonsense and injustice being done to you guys. The man who defended rubbish, the man who said FCT was not... all the nonsense that happened, the person who led that legal body, legal council, is now in charge of Inec. See, Nigerians, are we not doomed? We are doomed though. Now, to even make it worse, there is something I saw in the news. Specifically, I saw it on Salah Reporter. He said, that's what I'm displaying now. It said, Wike boycott Council of State meetings amid rift as Tinubu snubbed his candidate to appoint Amupiton as Inec chairman. Do you understand that? It is reported that the last council of meeting that was held, where this Inec chairman was announced, Wike was absent because he had grudges. They said Wike has earlier presented a candidate of his choice to the president to be appointed as Inec chairman. Hey. Nigerians, are we not finished? We are finished. Wike wanted to have his lawyer boy as Inec chairman, in addition to the wife being a chief judge in the appeal court. He himself is already playing the role of an equal president in Nigeria, destroying the nation. Is this how much they've taken us for granted? Is this how much these people are taking us for granted? And to even look coupled with the fact that we are becoming more docile, useless, and inactive against these people is making it all so bad. So for those of you that think Yakubu Mahmoud was the problem, I said before, was he actually the problem? I think with what is coming in now, you guys are truly going to find out that whoever that is being brought in, as long as the system remains the way it is, as long as Tinubu has the right, or the president of Nigeria, whoever he is, have the right to handpick an INEC chairman, the chief justice of the federation, the police IG, and the chief of army staff. In as much as one man have the powers and monopoly to handpick who these persons are, we will never make progress in this country. We will never. Tinubu has picked his loyalist. Wike is angry that his own loyalist wasn't picked. Hey, voila. Nigeria people don't suffer. We don't suffer. But in any case, I don't know. Somebody is going to come to my comment section to say Tinubu till 2031. This is not how to achieve that. If you want to prove that your Tinubu is popular, let an INEC be made independent. Let an election be conducted. Because it's obvious that Nigeria have not had an election, and the people in power do not intend to give us an election. And you clamor for people like this. You call them politicians. Now wow, this is terrible. I just saw this and I swear, my heart breaks. My heart breaks. Looking at Nigeria, there is no hope. Nigerians, it's obvious that without a revolution, this country will never get better. Only a revolution can change this. Peaceful revolution, they want peace. If the government should trigger any violence during the revolution, give it to them. So be it. So be it. If the DSS will now say, okay, Odalo is encouraging, come for me at their house. The same DSS that is toothless against the impunity and injustice happening against over 220 million people. How can Tinubu pick a lawyer, a son that is already corrupt? See, let's assume he was doing his job as a lawyer, but the nonsense he defended, telling the world that it is not mandatory, the law does not make it compulsory that you must transmit in real time, that FCT was not different and require no special status, even when the law clearly said so. That's the man you've given an INEC, and it's going to give you a credible election that will unseat Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Nigerians, let's keep sleeping. Whenever we are tired of sleeping, we can wake up. But until then, Odalo is getting tired. Honestly, I'm getting tired of all this rubbish. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the owner and the king of the coalition called ADC, His Excellency Peter Obi, who have been moving across the length and breadth of Nigeria, trying to get the people to his side so that he can be voted as the next president of Nigeria. The people's president, should I call it that way? The man who I have seen recently to truly have Nigeria and Nigerians at heart, Omoyele Sowore, the leader of the Take It Back movement. Are you all aware that the election you are all warming up to has already been rigged? Are you all aware? You are. Atiku is forming a coalition. Peter Obi is moving. Sowore is already doing his own towards an election that is already being rigged.
Meanwhile, a group of terrorists...
Absolutely.
Perfect. Meanwhile, a group of terrorists has reportedly reached a peace agreement with representatives of several communities in Katsina State following a meeting held under the Operation Safe Corridor Initiative. Counterinsurgency expert Zagazola Makama said the dialogue took place on October 12th. The meeting, according to the report, is aimed at restoring sustainable peace and security across communities affected by years of violence and bandit attack. I mean, this is not the first of such meeting in the state, as similar dialogues were held in June and September when stakeholders reached truces with armed group leaders under the same federal government's Operation Safe Corridor Initiative. Also, we saw Islamic cleric Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, who has now renewed his call for the federal government to initiate peace talks with bandits, insisting that dialogue remains the most effective route to achieving lasting security in Nigeria. Well, in a Facebook post on Monday, Gumi referenced the recent peace deal between Israel and Hamas as proof that even long-standing conflicts can be resolved through negotiation. The Kaduna-based cleric argued that if the United States could broker peace between Israel and Hamas, two groups once at bitter odds, then Nigeria should be able to engage its own armed groups in dialogue. And Rufai, I'll come to you first. I'd like for you to, juxtapose these two stories. In one hand, we are seeing you're trying to protest and, for the release of the detained IPOB leader. On the other hand, we see Sheikh Ahmad Gumi talking about renegotiating with bandits. We have even seen peace deals in Katsina State. Your thoughts?
Real quickly, Oji, it just shows you what Nigeria is all about. In a part of the country, bandits are being fed, they are being given a shoebi, they are holding peace meetings. They are holding peace meetings with their weapons. Weapons that are supposed to be illegal. Oji, you and I cannot take weapons like that and show them in public.
Impossible.
The security agents will come against us. But they can do all of that and show rocket launchers in public. The federal government will turn an eye to them. But Nnamdi Kanu that protests about a matter or that did some things that agitated for the marginalization of people, yes, some of the methods I don't support of what Nnamdi Kanu had done. And I condemn and criticize him on it. But there have also been calls for peace. There have also been calls for a political settlement. Courts in this country, and kudos to women in the judiciary, women judges, justices. Justice Adefokwe had first ruled in 2022 that he should be discharged. The federal government went on appeal, 4-1, Justice Garba. But a dissenting judge, Justice Ogunmiju, also ruled that the appeal court judgment should stay as regards to Nnamdi Kanu. But guess what? We have continued to put him in incarceration. Now his health is failing. They are still dilly-dallying about how to treat him. But in the same country, bandits are holding meetings with governors, doing photo ops and the likes. So when people now talk about unfairness in the same country, people will say they don't have a right. You see bandits doing press conference with guns and bullets and everything. There's no security agent in the world that will come and arrest them. Is it that security agents cannot round them up as they are doing this peace meeting?
All right.
Sheikh Gumi will now go ahead and be urging dialogue with bandits. The same Sheikh Gumi that was a captain in the Nigerian army, that I think his offspring serves in the army today. They will say, oh, bandits are also protesting because, or they are killing people because Nigeria is bad to all of them. But you have a certain standard for some people, you have a certain standard for other people.
Right.
I have never said here that I supported entirely the way Nnamdi Kanu went about it. But what we are saying is, why do you have standards for some over the others in this country.
The hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu has now taken center stage on X. Human rights activist Omoyele Sowore officially began mobilizing crowds for his planned hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu march protest to the presidential villa set for next Monday, October 20th, to demand the release of the detained leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra. While in a video posted on Sowore's X account, Kanu's special counsel, Barrister Aloy Ejimako, is seen speaking to the crowd as they sang songs of solidarity with Sowore's name. Let's take a look.
I have decided, whatever it would take, that on October 20th, I will lead all of you to Aso Rock Village. We are here in this market today, but we are calling on all markets across Nigeria and the world of people of conscience to close down for us. It's not too much to ask for. Whether you are in Lagos,
1 week in closer.
We have been closing markets every Monday, Yes. We need one more Monday. It's not about closing down the market, it's about bringing Nnamdi back home. And we are not doing this because we are Igbo, Yoruba, or Hausa. We are doing it because we are the good people of the world, not even Nigeria.
All right. Sowore has been calling on political leaders from the southeast to join him in this peaceful protest to Aso Rock to release Nnamdi Kanu, including publicly calling on Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo, Abia State Governor Alex Oti, and former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi to join him. And I'll take some response on his protest on X. And this person wrote, so this so-called hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu march is another misplaced initiative that only endangers innocent citizens in Abuja. If you truly believe in your cause, start your protest from your region. Don't bring chaos to the streets of the federal capital. It's pure hypocrisy when people like Sowore, who call themselves activists, selectively choose which injustice to shout about while promoting actions that disrupt peace and threatens national unity. True activism is about justice, not noise. It's about building, not burning. Nigeria deserves reasoned dialogue, not reckless mobilization. Another ex-user wrote, the big elephant in the room. We support you, Sowore. Keep speaking out for the well-being of all Nigerians. We need more Sowores, more VDMs, more Harrison, Gwanishu, etc. This country does not belong to politicians. It's time to say enough is enough. We've taken this story, Rufai, and we've seen that Sowore is really moving on with this protest. I believe, okay, it's, part of this NSAS protest as well that would come October 20th. Benga, I'm sure you're still with me. Before I come to you, Bo, let's bring you an update to the story we brought you yesterday. Nigeria's Minister of Works, David Umahi, has revealed the staggering costs of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, clocking in at 7.5 billion naira per kilometer. The minister said the initial 47.47 kilometer section carries a price tag of 1.6 trillion naira, covering 6 lanes, shore protection, solar lighting, and reinforced concrete construction. Umahi defended the figure, arguing it's lower than previous projects like the Eleme One and Abuja Kanu roads. He cited international bank reviews and invited public debate on the costs. Let's take a look.
This is the rundown of the figures. Number one, the first section, 47.47, is costing 1.067 trillions, and it's by 6 lanes. Now, when you divide this 1.067 trillion by 47.47 by 2, you will get 11.57 billion per kilometer of 3 lanes. A standard road is 2 lanes. Standard federal highway is 2 lanes. So by the time you now divide it by 3 and multiply by 2, you will now say that a standard coastal road is going for 7.5 billion per kilometer of standard highway. Now let me also tell you that the Deutsche Bank that led the other international banks to review the cost of the project so as to fund the 70% of the loan component, they said that that project was undervalued. It was undervalued. And when it was time to contribute, to give the loan, that project was oversubscribed by $100 million US. And so if the financial institutions can give us this credit, we are ready to face anybody. But when you are criticizing us, be very objective and tell the public the truth.
Right. He's saying we should all be objective at this point. We finally have a figure, Benga. However, this revelation has sparked fierce online comparisons to cheaper global benchmarks and raised, of course, serious concerns over environmental impacts and community displacements across Lagos and, of course, the surrounding areas. I'd like your thoughts on this because we have been following this story, and I thought it was important to, highlight this part of his speech. I believe this was still from yesterday. I mean, he's saying it's going to cost around 7.5 billion per kilometer. Benga, a quick comment, really.
Yeah, a quick one indeed. Thank you very much, Ojinika. I think that I would rather stand by the upholding pillars of democracy, which is transparency, accountability, and the rule of law. In a situation where institutions are functioning well, this should not even be an issue, because what happens to Nigeria's procurement system? There are established institutions and there are established due process that should look into this. And because we know that the Lagos Coastal Highway is a laudable project that will open up the nation's economic corridors to the outside world and boost economic integration and promote and bring us to the path of growth and progress. But despite this, I think there is a need for transparency in all this, and this is where the Bureau of Public Procurement, who is in charge of regulating the cost and also monitoring the cost of this project and also bringing some level of price intelligence to this issue, should be up and doing and should publish it so that everyone could have access. Everyone could ask questions. It's not just the minister, it's about the institution. So we need to have a system where there is a strengthening of institutions so that all these loopholes could be properly blocked, and we could have a sustainable economy when it comes to awarding of contracts. So I think that we should look into this place. The Bureau of Public Procurement should be the one addressing the public and telling us how they arrive at this cost. Because I want to believe that in terms of awarding of contracts, it should pass through the institution called the Bureau of Public Procurement.
Well said.
So that's my take on this.
Well said, Benga. As always, we will follow up on the story. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has eulogized his son, Seyi, as he turned 40 on Sunday, October 12, expressing happiness that his son has grown into a man the entire family is proud of for imbibing values of discipline, integrity, and hard work. In a 6-paragraph tribute issued on Sunday, the president thanked Almighty God for his son's life and the man he has become, noting that Seyi has walked his path with focus, courage, and humility. The president described 40 as a special age that bridges youthful drive and the more profound wisdom that life brings. Tinubu also expressed pride in the family Seyi is building with his wife, Leal, his devotion as a husband and father, and his commitment to making a difference in his generations. I'll say a happy birthday to Seyi Tinubu. Well, in celebration of Seyi Tinubu's birthday, 1 million copies of the Holy Bible are set to be distributed across Nigeria. The initiative was announced on Sunday during a Thanksgiving service at the National Christian Center, Abuja, organized by Friends of Seyi Tinubu. The organizers said The Bibles will be shared through churches and community groups nationwide to promote moral renewal, ethical leadership, and civic responsibility among young Nigerians. Well, this announcement has generated public reactions, especially on social media. I'll take some, Rufai, before I come to you. And there's a lot of misplaced, comments that were made by this actual announcement, because obviously these are Seyi's friends that organized this whole Bible distribution. I'll take this post on X from Laugh and Learn, who wrote, sharing 1 million Bibles may look noble, but it misses the mark with Nigerians battling many problems. What we need isn't more religion, it's real solutions. Honoring Seyi Tinubu at 40 should mean empowering youth, funding education, and creating jobs, not symbolic gestures. I mean, these are the sort of comments that we see online. But again, happy birthday to Seyi Tinubu. A quick comment from you, Rufai, before we take our next story.
Happy birthday, Seyi. Well, I wish you the very best. I mean, 40 is no easy. It's no small feat. I just pray for God's continuous guidance in your life. And I wish you well, and I wish your family well. But sharing the Bible, yes, it's a good gesture. But you see, my problem is this. Sharing Bible for people that don't read Bible, or they read Bible and don't practice what is in the Bible, is an exercise in futility. Because if people, with the number of people that go to church and mosque in Nigeria today, and with the country of many bishops that we have that come out during election period, if we really practice what is in the Bible, our lives will not be like this. Accountability issue will not be the order of the day. Forgery will not be the order of the day. Corruption will not be the order of the day. So it's not by sharing Bible. It's by having a renewal of our hearts that will make this country a whole lot better. But we can't also stop his friends from sharing Bible. That's what they deem fit to share. Maybe it will start a rekindling or a revolution in their heart. But on the flip side of it, they also should be careful. Because some people will now see it along religious lines, which should not be the case. And that's why we should be careful. But I don't see anything wrong in sharing Bible. But please, it is in imbibing what is in the Bible and living by the tenets of the Bible. Because if Nigerians were living by the tenets of the Bible, someone like me will have a need to talk less here and stop repeating all the things I've been saying for the past 6 years I've been working on Arise. So we wish them well and we wish them the best.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Seyi Tinubu. And, like I said, this was an initiative by his friends. I mean, the friends can do as they please at this point. I mean, like yesterday, was it you that was saying we don't need more religion in Nigeria? We need action. We need action and common sense. Now, social media has been awash with reactions after the Minister of Works, David Umahi, fired back at Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde over criticism of the controversial Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project. Makinde had questioned the true cost per kilometer of the highway during a stakeholders consultative and engagement meeting last Thursday, accusing Umahi of dancing around the cost. The minister, in response, while speaking during an inspection of the Kefi section of the Abuja-Mararaba Kefi Road, refuted Makinde's comments, stating that the governor misunderstood the nuanced details of road cost evaluation, insisting the highway should not be reduced to political soundbites. He then pointedly referred to Makinde as an electrician. Let's take a look.
He had, somebody showed me what my brother and friend, Governor Makinde of Oyo State said. I don't want to join issues with him, but I think he's an engineer. I think he's an electrician. Oh, sorry, they call it elect. Elect. This road construction, elect, no reach there. I'm a senior in governance. and he's senior in engineering practice. And so anything he doesn't understand, he should call me and ask. And I will not join issue because I have respect for our governors. I have respect for him as my friend and brother. But he should withdraw the word that I'm dancing around. I never dance around. And if he insists, he should come for debate. That is very important. He should come for debate, and we can this thing, you know. So there is no ambiguity in cost per kilometer, but I'm teaching them that cost per kilometer could be divided into estimated cost, which has elements of variance, and then average cost, which is definitive. That is what it is.
That was the minister there. He maintained that calculating average costs for a project of the Lagos-Calabar highway's magnitude was impossible, reminding Nigerians that he remains an authority in the field of engineering. Costs per kilometer. Rufy, you know you started that conversation. Costs per kilometer. I didn't even understand what he meant by elect. Have you heard that before? Elect. Let me take some
electrical
reaction.
engineering.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah,
Elect.
yeah.
All right, let's take some tweets. I mean, this story has been viral. This is from someone on X who wrote, I love Engineer Dave Umahi. Engineering is a broad field of different expertise, no doubt. Engineer Seyi Makinde was only trying to spite him since they are both engineers. However, a civil construction engineer is different from an electrical engineer or a petroleum engineer. Then another ex-user wrote, but this is exactly why Nigeria can't move forward. Every disagreement turns into a CV context. Makinde raised a question on cost transparency. Umahi replied with credentials. Sir, this isn't Wike verification. It's public accountability. The road isn't a personal project. It's taxpayers' money. Being a civil engineer doesn't exempt you from scrutiny. Even pilots get questioned before takeoff. Let me come to you, our favorite Niger wife. I will leave Rufai out for a moment on this subject matter. But you saw the minister there, of course, reiterating the point that you cannot calculate a figure. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that given the duration of this conversation, it has stretched out longer than necessary, because at this point we would have wanted to start to see more numbers being crunched. I don't think it's fair for accountability, for the spirit of transparency, for us to continue to focus on the trivialities around the conversation. Because if we are to just focus on the core of this conversation, there are questions that are being asked that need to be answered. It doesn't matter whether those questions are answered by an engineer or whether they are answered by a lecturer or a professor. At the end of the day, we are aware that he's a minister and he works with an entire ministry beneath him, and there are several people that do the work behind the scenes. So if he didn't have the numbers initially, by now we would have wanted to have seen some sort of a broader conversation around educating people, because the fact that, he came on this platform and he did say, let me educate you, this is how it's supposed to be and so forth. It's important for us to educate the public. I, for one, am not an engineer, but I would love to know how it's calculated and how it translates into taxpayers' money. What is the budget? Where are we with that budget? He's spoken about, yes, there's an estimated figure, and then of course there's the delivered figure. We understand all of that, but it's just about how we bring this information together and communicate it to the public without personalizing issues, without reducing these issues to, what feels like personal battles. That's not the issue here. So I think for me, we just need to continue with the spirit of accountability and transparency. And this is the impunity, unfortunately, that continues to fester around us. Some people say that maybe what's holding us back is our beloved African culture. Because in African culture, you're not to question your elders, you're not to question people in positions of authority. There are a number of things that are considered a taboo. However, as much as we love and value our African culture, it's also important for us to now start having a conversation around where we are in a democracy, and the fact that democracy, the higher up you are in the food chain, the more of a servant you are to the people, and the more people have the right, authority, and access to you to get answers. You know, this back and forth, I think, is still highly unproductive. I understand that he has come out with some figures, but again, I don't think it's about holding press conferences and delivering figures. Let's see some beautiful graphic artwork.
What were the figures that you saw? I think I saw something about 4 billion per kilometer, something like that.
There were a lot of calculations. I know we were doing the calculations in studio, and there was 28 billion. There were a number of different figures. So I don't want to churn out figures that don't add up to, because you would have had to calculate them. But I think whatever it is, it's not something that we should be crunching with our calculators. He mentioned in the interview when he was here on the morning show that there is a website that they're unveiling that should also have information and so forth. That website should also provide information, up-to-date information, cost. This is what we have spent thus far on so many kilometers from this place to that place. XYZ, that is what we call transparency and accountability.
Right, fantastic. Been by our favorite Niger wife. Well, in another development, the presidential pardon granted last week by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to 175 inmates and ex-convicts continues to generate public reaction. The clemency followed approval by the National Council of State, while among those pardoned by President Tinubu was Mariam Sanda, who had been sentenced to death in 2017 for killing her husband. The 37-year-old convict had spent 6 years and 8 months at Suleja Medium Security Custodial Center after being sentenced to death for culpable homicide. Her pardon sparked widespread criticism. In response, presidential spokesperson Bayo Ononuga said that Sanda's family pleaded for her release in the best interest of her 2 children, adding that the plea was also anchored on her good conduct in jail, her remorse, and her embracement of a new lifestyle, demonstrating her commitment to being a model prisoner. Sanda was arrested in November 2017 for stabbing her husband to death over alleged infidelity. She claimed her husband died after falling on a broken shisha pot during an argument. Rufai, when we took this story back in, I believe, when she was sentenced, it was heartbreaking to hear the circumstances that surrounded her death. And I'll take some reactions because the story has generated quite a few on social media, X, Instagram, and of course, Facebook. And I'll take Obiora, who wrote, "You can call it mercy, or you can call it what it is. Another reminder of how uneven our system truly is. On paper, a pardon looks noble. A show of compassion, a second chance, the image of a just leader extending grace. But in a country where justice bends for the powerful, mercy stops feeling like principle and starts to look like privilege. Too many ordinary people are serving endless sentences for lesser crimes, forgotten in overcrowded prisons with no one speaking their names. They don't get presidential attention or public sympathy. They just fade into the system's silence. And then there's Nnamdi Kanu, 5 years in detention, dragged through endless court proceedings with no clear resolution and no political will to end it. The same government that can find compassion in one case somehow finds only punishment in his. That's not justice. That's selective morality. Rufai, we had Honorable Obia Agwocha on the morning show yesterday, and he, touched on this particular Twitter user's comment, the fact that, the only thing that Nnamdi Kanu is looking for is a release so that they could attend to his health. And, this sort of conversation of who gets pardoned or not is, the sort of conversation I'd like us to have. I'll take another expose before I come to you. And this is from Awele, who wrote, "Was the family of the late Bill Yamin Bello, that's her husband, consulted and in agreement before his killer, Mariam Sanda, is being granted pardon?" That's the question. The reason for her pardon is vexatious. The late Bill Yamin had his life cruelly cut short No opportunity to see his children grow up, and Miriam is free. And that's one of the conversation, that Miriam is free so that she can attend to her children. Your thoughts on the story, Rufai?
I like to talk with empirical
As
fact.
always, yes.
Presidential pardon, offense committed, October 2025. Drugs, 29.2%. Unlawful mining, 24%. Homicide, 13.5%. Fraud and corruption, 12.3%. Hijacking, 5.3%. Firearms, 2.3%. Robbery and theft, 2.3%. Human trafficking, 1.8%. You see, at this rate, let's all go mad together. Because if we have now become a nation where we pardon criminals that our institutions fought hard to convict, then President Tinubu, in your next pardon, I have some names for you. You must pardon Lawrence Omaji Akpo Anini. You must pardon Oyenusi, the criminal. You must pardon Shekau. Look at the joke Nigeria has become. You pardon all these people that have perpetrated heinous crimes, then you now have to drag the name of Herbert Macaulay in it to make it look legitimate. You now have to drag some of our founding fathers in it to make it, after you pardon all the criminals. Look at Farouk Lawan. There was a sting operation where the state security agencies, they were the ones that baited him with the bribe, the marked notes. He pardoned him. So what nation do we have? What nation, I ask, do we have? But in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, people have been speaking. Some Igbo, top leaders came to Buhari last time to seek a peaceful resolution to the matter. No. Nnamdi Kanu is not being granted access to see doctors. This one, they're not even asking for pardon, access to see doctors. But all of a sudden, we are seeing all of this pardon flying around. So what lessons do we want for children in the generations yet unborn? A woman, we took the story here, planned the attack for good measure, also lacerated the husband's body. You say you talk to the woman's family before you pass. So the husband family, they have nothing. How would the husband family feel today?
And that's the right question.
See, the prerogative of mercy is expected that a president will be able to, dispense that prerogative reasonably. But as it is today, like somebody was saying today, I think they should be adding civil society so that we can circumvent the names brought forward. You see, our nation has just become a joke where anything happens. At this rate, we'll start pardoning certificate forgers. If they will not even give themselves pardon already. Right. So what kind of nation are we living in? What kind of generation do we want to give? What kind of country?
How would they give themselves pardon? Tell me. How would they pardon themselves once they forge the certificates?
No, people like Nnamdi that their allegations of certificate forging.
Yes.
When they get to positions, they will pardon themselves now.
All right.
When they get high up there, they will pardon themselves. We are living in a country where, you are having all sorts of... let me read a newspaper article that was written many years ago for you, Oji, where somebody was saying that people of questionable characters will be the one ruling Nigeria over the years to come. See, New Breed newspaper, this was in 1990s something, where they were saying drug barons may determine the political future of Nigeria.
These are the
these are the issues in the country. This is not nice. And please, President Tinubu, with due respect, let's stop all of this. Let's make it make sense.
Yes. I mean, we have to live in a country where it appears that the federal government, presents itself as being accountable, fair, and just. What is good for the goose, is that how they say it? Is good for the gander. The gander. Well,
so guys, I don't know what you make of this, what is happening in Nigeria today. Honestly, the whole place has been hijacked. When it comes to politics, the will of the people can hardly be achieved. But if you still look at what is happening, like in Ivory Coast today, we saw that the youths of Ivory Coast, they are aligning with the opposition because they are tired of the ruling class. They are aligning with the opposition. They want change of power. So Nigerian youths, don't be scared of what you are seeing online. all the poses. See, APC has been rejected. We just have to come together to put our synergy together to show them that the youths have the most of the population of this country, and see, we can get to this country we can deliver this country. There's no going back. We can deliver Nigeria. So guys, that is it for you. I just want Nigerians to know that, see, no matter how these people try to hijack this election, we all must stand up to say enough is enough. We all must stand up to say it is enough. Now let me take you through this headline coming from David Hundeyin's website. It says Tinubu remains delusional while citizens bear the brunt of insecurity, kidnappers, bandits and armed robbers carrying out their activities without apprehension even in the federal capital territory. This is David Hundeyin speaking about Tinubu's government, how they've made it to the fact that many kind of atrocities happening in Nigeria, and the government appears to be very, very helpless. That is it. And now there are a whole lot of headlines here that I want us to actually take a look at. Don't forget that also Nigerians are asking Nigerians to ensure they have their PVC registered already. Now you may have heard that politics, the APC has gone to Enugu State. Enugu governor has joined the APC alongside the former governor of the state, alongside almost all the former governors, Chimedem and all the other Ugwani, even the current governor. They've all defected to the APC. They want to be at the center. Ask me, Hope Uzodinma has been at the center for how long? What is it that he has brought to Nigerians? That's the question. Now this person say we will all learn this politics by force. No be small thing, sha. If you like, fight your brother because of politics. Now many people are reacting, considering the fact that these people are now defecting just for their own political gain. Nobody cares about what Nigerians are going through in this country. Now, Mr. Dele Farotimi has also tweeted and said Nigerians ruining grass has never been better described. Nigeria ruining grass. He wants to say Nigeria ruling class has never been properly described, because see, if you tell somebody to describe Nigeria for you, it will be very, very difficult. Also, there is call for obedience to help in the Anambra election coming to make sure Soludo does not return. Like this man said, 25 days to Anambra election. Peter Obi and Obedient Movement team join George Mogalo for the final push. I'm all for any means legal to kick our governor Soludo from Oka in November. Wow, this guy is calling on Nigerians, calling on Anambra people to make sure they join in fighting, fighting for the Labour Party candidates, to ensure Soludo does not come back to power. Then there's this tweet here that this guy is saying that the only man who has never compromised on our freedom is Omoyole Sowore. He has always stood for everyone. So Sowore is really gaining attention of many Nigerians for coming out to speak for Nnamdi Kanu's release. Actually Sowore has really done a very good job. I must applaud him. The boldness, despite it is not even easy for Nigerians to come out these days to protest, not to talk of him coming out to call for Nnamdi. This is what Igbo leaders cannot do, even Igbo youths cannot do. But guess what? Sowore has taken it upon him to galvanize for Nnamdi Kanu's release, and he's gaining so much traction. Many people are pitching for him because of just that one step. Now there's this other headline that says from 53k to 352k, Nigerians decry 560% increase in air tickets, from 53,000 to 352,000. Air price for you to now enter plane is now something else. So guys, the Tinubu's government has really ruined this country, and still you see people, joining them to say that that APC is working. I just wonder what they are working. Governor Mbako's a political solution to Nnamdi Kanu's detention. That is not what we want. Sowore is saying you guys should come with you come and march for Nnamdi Kanu's release. So guys, there are lots of concerning headlines. Don't forget that Peter Obi today has talked about how the Tinubu's government has moved many more Nigerians into poverty. You know, many more Nigerians are into poverty than it used to be today. And the World Bank has also approved that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to stop it at this point. Let me know your thoughts on all this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.